Hello everybody, it's me John aka Nosy and I'm back for a brand new Transformers review. Today I'm reviewing one of the purchases I picked up from TF Nation 2025 and that is none other than Age of the Prime's Vortex. And here he is. This is Vortex in his helicopter mode, but yeah, it looks really cool. I've been, obviously since this guy released, I've been seeing a lot of people making videos and a lot of photos of him, and I saw him at TF Nation and I thought, you know what, I will get him because this guy is one of the parts. Obviously they are going to be releasing a Bruticus, hopefully we'll get all the components in due course, but I would like to get myself a Bruticus, because Bruticus, for me, is my favourite combiner. But yeah, very cool. Very nice. Looking at the detailing, it is a very tidy mode, to be honest with you. It is a really tidy mode. It's a nice, pleasant transformation process as well. It doesn't, it's not overly complicated. It's relatively quite straightforward. As you can see, these are the legs. With the legs basically form the full front end of the aircraft, and as you can see, that's obviously his chest here, but it is, and obviously that is his back of his head, yes, but still it is relatively quite a very clean mode. Some nice detailing, as you can see. There's like windows on the sides. I like the colour. I think the colour's quite interesting for him. A nice gunmetal grey with the blue stripes, but very nice. Nothing really going for him in this mode. Nothing moves except for the rotors. The rotors are actually much better, and the back one obviously rotates as well. And that is about it. He comes with some accessories. He comes with this big gun which clips onto the side of for like an attack mode. It's just a standard black gun. Not much detailing on it, but it comes with these two dual little pistols. They can also store on the side, but there is also these ports here as well. I actually prefer putting these in these ports because those ports are a little bit more stable. The only downside with putting the guns in these little recesses on the side right there is that they're much more easier to just lose, and they'll just fall off if you're not careful. And to be honest with you, I actually prefer that look, because he's now got, instead of having, you can still have this put onto the side as well. So yeah, as you can see, you can have both of his smaller guns stored underneath if you wished. So they actually go in there much nicer compared to the sides. But yeah, you can do that as well as the big one sticking out the side. Nothing more going for him in this mode, but he is nice. Let's get him transformed. Alrighty then, so give you a nice bit more of a closer look now that I've got him like this. But yeah, just a little once over. But it's a very tidy mode, like I said. Very tidy. I do like him very much. He looks really quite cool. But yeah, so to transform him then, you simply have to take this rotor blade off first. And then now what you do, you basically, the back end, you split into halves, and these side bits, you sort of just try and get them out the way a little bit. These little bits here of the engine. So yeah, you just bring these to the sides of the shoulders like this, and then just sort of rotate these bits up and out the way as well. So that's the first step. The next step, split the front of the aircraft. These bits should, there we go, fold down like that, and rotate this bit here at the top where the rotor blades go, just to get them out the way for a second. And then you just, like that, extend the legs, like so. Make sure they are fully extended, split into two, then close these back up, like that, split, like that. Then do the feet as well, like that. Now to finish the rest of him off, rotate these down, the arms, shoulders, and you just sort of leave them like that. These side bits of what is side of the aircraft, or the back end of the rear rotor blades, these basically just stay like this. This is just part of the design. But the only difference is now is this back bit, you fold this bit in, like so, and then that bit will just collapse in to the side of this arm, and then these bits, you can either do it like that if you wished, or you can just bring them straight down. And then the last thing to do is the head. So this bit here, if you can see, it's like a cap that comes down and it goes into this little recess at the back, and then you put this little wheel thing into the back of the head, and then you twist the head back round, and there he is. There's Vortex, all transformed. The last thing to do is rotate this back into place, and then you can put the rotor blade back in. There is Vortex, all transformed. Okay, so here is Vortex all transformed, and he does look really, really cool. I do like his design. I think he looks really nice. I have had a Vortex before, and obviously he was very different in the one I've had before. I think it was the Thrilling Fates one, I believe they did. I can't remember now. But this guy I actually do prefer. I do like the colour tones on him. I like the blue. It's just like a subtle blue with this grey, which I do like. And then bring it in closer to you for you. He does have a nice Decepticon insignia right there on the shoulder. But yeah, give you a look-see at the back. It is a very tidy mode as well, even in robot mode. There's not much kibble, except for this rotor blade and the backpack, but it is, and also he's got quite big forelegs. The legs are quite chunky, but apart from that, it is a really tidy mode, and you can get some nice dynamic poses out of him. The articulation on him is pretty much decent, pretty much average of today now. You know, a nice ball joint of that shoulder, bend of the elbow. I don't know about the fist swivel, but I think it's because it's encapsulated in there. Then the head on a ball joint swivel, and 360 swivel of the waist, and then the legs can go up to there, and then bend at the knee, and then you've also got foot pivot, but it's also, you know, with transformation. And so the last thing we need to do now, let me just bring it down for you. Okay. The last thing we need to do now is just add his weapons. But I will say just very quickly, one thing you can do, if you take the rotor blade off again, there's another port around about the same size as the back. You can, if you wish, put it in there. So you can do that if you wished. And then bring his guns in. So this big one here that goes into the front of the aircraft in alt mode. You can hold it as normal in his fist, do it like that if you wished. So it's kind of like a side mounted. So you can do it in that way if you wished. Get this one. There. And there we have it. There is Vortex with his weapons. Yeah, I mean, the rotor blade, there's one of them big ports what the rotor blades go into and what this gun is plugged into. There's one on this side as well, so you can do it either side if you wished. But yeah, he is a really nice. He's a very nice figure. I do like him. Looking forward to the other components. I'm not going to show the arm mode because I believe how it works is like obviously just if you've had any of the Combiner Wars figures, the way that the Combiner Wars ones and the new Devastator, they all work on a very similar configuration when it comes to the combining of it. Basically, all you will do when you have all the components to be able to make Bruticus, you basically would have to, it's like a small, narrow thing right here. I'm assuming something will poke into there, and then the top part and the bottom part will part into two separate pieces, and that's how you would get your arm mode. You basically will just transform this guy back into helicopter mode, and then you just basically split the parts into two, and that's basically how it will work. Once I've got all the components, I will do a review on Bruticus once I've got all the components to make Bruticus, and I will go through the whole process at a later date. And there we are then. Thank you so much for watching my review on Age of the Prime's Vortex. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the review. More reviews coming very, very soon. Take care of yourselves, and bye-bye for now. Bye-bye. And remember to like, share and subscribe if you enjoy. Bye-bye.